Hey guys, Mapletail here. Today I'm working on a bit of fan art for a game that I've been playing pretty obsessively lately, and that's Wildfrost. Also, spoilers for the end of the game if you care about that. I've been working on getting through Shadows so I can review it, but I didn't finish it in time for this week's video. I'll hopefully get it done soon. Anyways, let's get into it. So Wildfrost is a roguelike deck building game. Two genres I generally avoid like the plague. I can't stand the permadeath typically in roguelike games, and I don't have an interest in complicated digital card games. I hate doing math in my games, I hate redoing things or backtracking, and maybe above all, I do not like overly difficult games. And yet, all of this is at the core of Wildfrost, which I bought release day and have sunk well over 25 hours in at the time of recording this video. I was first drawn to it from an artist's perspective. The art style, character design, and backgrounds are all really beautiful and creative. And the music, amazing. From a visual and audio viewpoint, Wildfrost is already a great experience. The story intrigued me too. In the game, the sun has frozen over and the Wildfrost has taken over the lands, bringing an eternal winter full of danger. Your player characters are the people of Snowdell, a group of 3 tribes: the elemental snow dwellers, the summoner shademancers, and the inventor clunkmasters. I usually choose from the shademancers, as they have an array of cute summons for me to sacrifice to protect my allies, which works well for my playstyle. You then journey through 3 areas of the Wildfrost: outside of Snowdell, the Ice Cave, where 90% of my deaths probably occur, and the Frostlands, before facing the final boss in the Eye of the Storm. In these areas, you'll face bosses and mini-bosses, collect new item and ally cards, and ways to upgrade those cards. If your chosen character dies, that's it. You have to return to Snowdell, choose a new one, and rebuild your decks from scratch. I'm only able to handle this happening all the time with lots of screenshots to remember everyone by, and doing fan art like today. And it's gonna happen a lot, as this game is crushingly difficult. I've attempted 52 runs so far, and have a win rate of only 6%, which sounds low, but from what I've seen from fans, is relatively standard. But it still manages to be fun for me every step of the way. I like achievement hunting, as every achievement unlocks something new, and trying out new cards and strategies. The first time I nearly completed a run was with Blueloom, a Shademancer who fought alongside a powerful group of summons. But they were no match for the Frost Guardian at the end of the road, partially because I'd expected a longer road and more time to prepare, and partially because I never thought I'd see that end. I did fan art of Blueloom too, and they'll always be an important little guy to me, even if their run ended in defeat. I also made it to the final area with a Shademancer called Arcton, but alas, death by ice crabs before ever seeing the boss. My first win of the game wasn't really even mine. My girlfriend was giving it a go with my help, and managed to take out the final boss on one of their first tries. I was super impressed, and a little sad I hadn't been able to do it first, even after several more hours under my belt. And then, their very powerful character, Rust Snow, with their incredible team, became the new final boss that I would have to face. And face them I did. With one of today's drawing subjects, Fadeloom. I used my strategies from Blueloom and everything I'd learned since to take them down. It was very difficult, but with enough summon sacrifices, I was able to shield myself long enough to prevail. And so Fadeloom became the new Frost Guardian of the Wildfrost. I may have built too solid of a team here. When I played as the second character in today's first drawing, Snow Dweller Peaking. I just built their team around achievement hunting, not even trying too hard to make it all the way. I needed a break from that. And before I knew it, I was in the Frostlands and facing down my beloved Fadeloom. The scene of today's art. And I got destroyed. I am not super adept at playing Snow Dweller. Like I said, I only picked them and their allies to complete some achievements, and I just got lucky. But I'm very proud of them for making it so far. Fadeloom seemed impossible to defeat, until I was able to face them again with another Shademancer, Brightloom. Loom seems to be a lucky name for me. Even in the Fadeloom versus Brightloom fight, I feared I'd gotten myself into an unwinnable situation. Fadeloom was having their attack and health boosted every few turns, the latter by a Mach card that had eaten all the other enemies, creating a card with stats unlike anything I've ever seen. Not to mention, I was only down to Brightloom and their summons. All my allies dead. And Brightloom didn't even have a proper attack. Only a counter, which I was absolutely not risking letting them getting hit for such a move to trigger. Every attack I managed from items and summons, the Mach would heal himself in Brightloom for far more damage than I did. So I realized I'd have to take them out before focusing on the leader. Unfortunately, both enemies had over 100 health by the time I'd worked out a strategy. Health that started around 30 or even lower. Ouch. I figured out that as long as I had enough summons to take hits for me, I kept increasing my health, and did over 5 points of damage before the Mach could attack, I could very slowly and agonizingly chip down both their health bars while keeping Brightloom alive. It took literally forever, but it worked. Phase 2 of those fights was a breeze after that. Thanks for watching. This was meant to be a quick no audio video so I'd have something to put out while catching up on Shadow, but I couldn't help myself when an opportunity to info dump about Wildfrost presented itself, which is why I ended up having to record some of a second piece of fan art for this video too, to make up for all the time I spent talking. This game is certainly not for everyone, but I really adore it. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next Thursday.